right now, check this out. Just look how emancipated this guy is. In fact, Diamond was not the showstopper of this show. He performed and then other guys performed after him. When Diamond first came, we brought him to Mombasa. He shared a room with his manager. I brought him by road. And the room wasn't even in a hotel. The room was in a hao we had gotten in Nyali. Uko behind Uko.
And so when you see Diamond here, now, understand he's done his hours, his time.
Let me tell you, he's earned his stripes. It's okay.
It's powerful. Okay, tuendelee with this thing. Yani, there's so much with you. I don't even know where to go from. You're doing this promotion. You've got your company. You've got all these different gigs, road shows that you're doing. That's what I began to understand. Where does the story progress to? At this time, politics hasn't entered. Or when
there's politics, but it's not mainstream because I'm only passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. And for political stuff, it's basically, I won't call it passion. I'll just call it political euphoria. Okay, so it's ODM, Raila, just running around doing own theft, but I'm not involved in the mainstream until 2002 when I got involved with Young Kenyans for Raila. And I remember that time I had a roadshow truck, so we head out we're going into the enemy's territory. We're going to Meru. That time, that whole area was pro-PNU. So we go into Meru, we set up at there's a park next to the police station. And those guys came out in numbers, just ready to tear us into pieces, you know? Now is when I discovered that time Raila, before, if he wants to tell his guys we're leaving, he starts with Kitandawili. If you hear it, you just stand up and head to your car because he's just about to say the thing and he jumps into his moti and he's off. It was all good and dandy until he said Kitandawili, jumped into his moti, but remember I can't leave my truck.
Yeah.
I was another guy there with, he was a very fat guy. The guy had to remove his t-shirt and throw it away and he was just bare chest. Those guys now are baying for our blood.
Yo.
So I've been around also the political scene, just saying what goes on.
How did you get in? I don't want to dash over this story. How did you get into politics?
So you remember the second one was because of Jimmy Gathu.
Yeah, so Jimmy Gathu calls you.
Hooks me up with this MC gig. Yeah. I go do the MC work. It was a dinner, a fundraiser. And then the next week, the same guys introduced me to these other guys. And say, these other guys also want. So the two guys.
But 2002, isn't 2002 the time where Kanu is on its way out?
PVS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not post-election violence is later on.
2007.
2007.
Yes.
But 2002 things are good. In fact, I remember.
No, not for ODM.
No, that's when Kibaki was coming in as president.
Listen, so remember that time I was not in government. I was not in the political party which was ruling.
Kanu was ruling. Moi was being kicked out.
I was in ODM. So I was not necessarily in the main party in Gava.
Okay.
So I only come to join Gava. Even 2007 I was still working. Actually 2007 is when we did Young Kenyans for Raila, where we had a small group of people, which has brought out crazy people. People like Silas Jakakimba, Bosco Gichana. All those guys were in Young Kenyans for Raila.
How did you enter into Young Kenyans for Raila? All this is foreign to me. So I think I'm hearing this, honestly speaking, for the first time. I'm trying to understand your introduction into politics. So walk me like
this
a baby.
Now 2007.
Okay, not even before 2007.
So you see, during this time, this thing, and politics in Kenya is like a cold. It's like COVID. Like it comes, it's a wave, then Omicron, which finishes COVID. Now guys again are back to normal. Again after 5 years, again COVID comes back again. Like another variant. So Kenyans only react to politics after every 5 years.
True, like this year.
In between, nobody cares. In fact, right now, nobody's fighting anybody, nobody's abusing anybody until we get to elections. Then we start abusing each other. Okay? Nobody cares about colors until it gets to politics. So Now you get to politics, you can't even wear red, you can't wear, now these guys can't wear red, those guys can't wear yellow, those guys can't wear green. Like now everything takes a different perspective.
It's true.
Every 5 years, Kenyans have a cycle. All of a sudden you decide, this guy is bad, this guy is good. Yet you've been with this guy every day.
Okay.
You know?
So before Jimmy Gathu called you for that event, you hadn't been affiliated with politics in any way?
No, I didn't have my roots, my foot inside.
Okay. That was the moment where your foot came in, when Jimmy Gathu called you for a union between?
It was actually the DP's party and the president's party. They merged now to form TNA.
Okay. I get it. But then that's
way late, because this other side, I'm working for ODM. And this way we're about to be beaten up in Meru, Nakuru was stoned. So there are all these things happening, but it's every 5 years. 5 years, I will not do it again. 5 years again, you find yourself in the same gang, running around doing the same stuff. So I go for this event, IMC. Actually, I remember Dwale is one actually who called me. I do it and then he's like, wow, we love it. There's another one next week. So they hook me up with the next guys, so I do that dinner. And then there is a merger. First of all, before the merger, there's actually an event at KICC. So that's how it works. I'm called and I'm told, can you do this event? So remember, I've done the 2 dinners. Time for the event at KICC, I'm not called. And I'm told, the boss walked in. He says, I hope we're using the same MC. I say, I'm not there. So they say, oh no, you know that guy, he was busy, I told him, no, I want that guy. That's the guy I want. So Bruce Odhiambo calls me, goes like, Ted, you know what? Boss says he wants you and only you.
And here we're talking about Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
President,
What
His
you do?
Excellency.
Just do the event. Because now...
Their job's on the line.
Yeah. Now, when I did the first event, I didn't take any cash. Because I am a believer of selling value, not currency. Because you see, money or worth can be paid by anybody. But value you can't buy. You can't. Nobody can put a cost on value. So I go to KICC and I tell myself, you know what? If I touch this microphone, nobody else will be able to do what I've done. And I make a vow with God. And just like Samson, I tell God, just put my hands on the pillars of this temple. I'm going to bomb this whole thing. Let's just say it went and happened. It was crazy. In between, I received phone calls from various people. Hey, come on, how can you do this to us? Because now I was transiting from ODM to a different party. So
you were in... What I'm hearing from you, again, remember, me, I'm very illiterate about this space. So what I'm hearing, you were in ODM, young Kenyans for Raila. So you're from... This is after KANU, Kibaki has entered. Now Kibaki's time for Chomokering is coming across.
Yes.
So the 2 parties are your boss.
Yes.
And now this against Raila.
Yes.
So literally, you going to MC that gig was a statement of...
Was already bad enough.
Ooh.
Now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't help that I'm from Nyanza. So now I was being viewed as a total sellout.
Oh, my God.
So I'm at KICC. I remember I received a phone call from a guy who told me, Ted, I want you to slow down. And then I asked that guy, you're the procurement director for this big company, and you've never given me Jobo. What right do you have to ask me to do anything? Why? Why are you doing this? So anyway, we do the thing, it's over. The guys go like, listen, we like you. So from today onwards, you're our main guy. Next week, we have a merger with these guys in Nakuru, you're on. And just like that, so I got in, Rain with the campaign team, I think pitched my worth. And then when the boss got in, he was like, you know what? I want you to come in with us. Would you mind? Like, no way, let's work. So of course, I went in with a very different mindset. And I must say this is a thing which I see many people, even those that talk to me, people speak to me with different mindsets. Others come to me already with a predetermined mind of how I should operate, how I should behave, how I should do everything, and who I should do it with. In fact, guys have already put a worth on my life and decided this guy is a billionaire. So he should have this and this and this.
Because he has proximity to the president.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I learned a few things. And some of these was taught by my very good friend, Richard Ngatia. Some by my godfather, Mr. Fred Simiyu. And one of the things Ngatia told me is, Ted, don't tell the king your problems. In short, don't be a crybaby. Don't be so much of a crybaby that when the person who can help you sees you, he wants to duck. Now, hey, everybody has this thing of, if you show up where you grew up in the hood or wherever in Shags, there's that uncle, if you just see him coming,
you know,
you just know this guy. Even the way a guy just starts, you know, this guy.
Unajua jana
Hata mtoto wangu, kwanza those guys who just start, unajua nilikubeba kama huko mdogo hivi. They already know, listen, the guy was chomwa tax. He has an invoice up his, it's like the ladies of Nairobi. Immediately they meet you, their phone gets spoiled, their gas gets finished, somebody's in hospital, their shopping is over. Like there's just a myriad of problems. It's called Mbwembwe. But they shout out to Saudi so. We see this guy is also growing up. And
first of all, we've transitioned a bit into politics, but I'm letting you go. It's your story. Just keep going.
So I join in and I'm able to understand about political strategy. What are the things you look for? How do you package a candidate? How do you package yourself? What are you offering? You know, and how also you can be versatile. Now, one of the things that God has helped me with is the ability to change before the season. And that makes me prepared for the next season. Right now, I'm preparing for the next step of my life. God has already shown me what he wants me to do or where he's taking me. When it's announced in a few weeks, months, or whatever, you will know that I told you that I'm transitioning to the next step. Simply because God already has given me a very heightened awareness of the next thing that is happening or which is coming. So that's one of the things that... so this is...
So can I slow you down a bit? Huh? I mean, what you're talking about is huge. I'm trying to, from a layman's perspective, I'm trying to understand, how did this guy transition from this entertainment and all of this into... Actually, I've got it. I've understood it. Because what I'm realizing, the door was your gift of emceeing.
Yes.
The gift of emceeing was just placed on the right person.
Yes.
And they were like, we want to keep working with this guy.
Yes, and also because I'd been faithful with
what?
It.
Yeah.
I was telling the young kid earlier on about consistency. That you see, you must learn to be consistent because you see, you don't know where God has placed the door. But you see, if you're jumpy everywhere and the door is here, you'll never find it. It's like these houses with trapdoors on the wall. You can scout the whole room, but unless you are here long enough, the door will never open. So most of the times, even when you pray to God to help you, but you're too jumpy, you jump before God gets there with your blessing.
Yep.
In the Bible, guys are told to go to a place to receive the Holy Spirit. I'm sure there's a guy who waited there. He was
many
like,
guys
listen,
me
Mazi, I have to go home. He went home, he missed.
And he probably caught it on the next wave.
I'm sure there were other guys, women with the issues of blood, who were in the same area. In fact, that story is crazy because, think about it this way. The crowd was surging towards Jesus. How many other people had problems which were not sorted out that day? So what is different about the lady and about other people? In fact, when Jesus said, somebody has touched me, I'm sure one of his guys was like, Jesus, man, even you now, you're too much, man. There are guys everywhere.
That's
here.
exactly
Who touched you?
That's exactly what they say. They're like,
Yeah.
the Bible actually says the guy said, when the guy was touched, the guy said, somebody has touched me. And they were like, can you see how many people are moving?
Hey,
guys?
everybody's touching you here.
Yeah, but the
I'm
guy
sure
knew.
there are guys who are touching him who are not even healed. Now, lesson number 1. How come we never hear about the deskmate of Barack Obama? Because probably the deskmate touched Barack and didn't think anything will come out of him. And that's the problem. If you have people in your life who you don't think will amount to anything, you'll continue to treat them like trash.
I get
My
it.
person will tell you that I'm very quick to forgive. I can even ask for forgiveness. Like, I don't care. My pride is 0. I just say, I'm sorry. Please forgive. And I can even I come and tell them I'm sorry. Do you know why? I don't know what the next step will be. Right now in my life, the goodwill I have is with people who probably I had around before, or I would have assumed, you know. But the fact that you still try to live in good standing. Now, I don't say everybody loves me. I know I'm not loved by everyone. But I've tried, and I try every day.
And unfortunately for you, you're even hated by people who don't know you.
Bro,
because
I'm
of
hated
limelight.
by people who I have never met.
Yeah. And you don't exist.
Yeah. I'm hated by people who think they met me and they know me. I cannot tell you how many times I'm stalked by people. I have no idea who they are. No idea.
Even Nick, who I'm shooting with today, you've met him before, but...
And I stopped trying to cram names because I can't cram everybody's name. I stopped. I can't. So you meet with somebody, then you meet them again, then they think you're ignoring them because you're Big Ted, and my head is empty. I have no idea. My person will tell you, we go to many places, she asks me, who was that? I wonder how to tell her it's nobody yet. I hugged them and told them, hey, we'll see you. I don't know. I just don't know.
Fame.
So one of the other things I try and do these days, if you come to me that way, I'll just simply tell you, I don't remember. Tell me who you are. Of course, it offends others.
Yeah.
But it's a simple truth.
Coming back to this story, there's something else that you've said that I don't want to skip over. And for me, it's so powerful because it breaks this whole understanding of tribalism. You left one side, which you are of the tribe of, to go to the other side. Like, what is going through your mind then?
Of course, the first thing I'm saying is I want to try and see what's on the other side. Number 2 is that I have been with these people, dated some of them, and enjoy with them every day. There's nothing different about them. Number 4, being raised up in an environment where it was heavily polarized because of a lot of stereotypes. I hated stereotypes. I would hate when I'd sit with guys and guys say, oh, Luos, you cook fish in the same pan that you fry fish. You also wash babies in it and everything, simply because, you know, in shags, everything was metal. Even the trough for showering was metal, but it looks like exactly like the one for fish. So that was a joke, but
it became
yes,
an abuse.
You know, so I decided, you know what, I don't really care. Like, I have no allegiance to my tribe. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter that if the leader comes from your tribe that it will change your life. It doesn't. Yeah. And
I love, okay, now to add now to that other element that you've just brought up, economic empowerment. Was your life in a place where you're like, yo, I'm trying to make loot, I'm trying to better my life, and I need this financial provision?
Of course, by the time you move, you're like, listen, I'm sure these guys will give me guap. If it's voluntary, the other side, they're paying. All right, so I'll run with these guys. But also when you get to a place whereby you have a chance to actually change people's lives from government or from a position of power, then everything changes for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So since we're in this political journey, let's stay there. You're a young guy. It's not just you. This is the first time a president is got this support of young guys, and it's not just for using them. I think one of the things that I have to commend the president for, from having conversations with different people, is that after the guy entered, rumor has it, and the reason I say rumor, because I'm not sure if it's a rumor or not, rumor has it that there was silence from you guys. I mean, there was silence from the fact that you, Denis Itumbi, Davy, and all the head of State House, I forgot his name, that you were not allowed, that there was no communication. And then one day, him himself called and said, "Where are these guys?" Hence why you're not paid for like 2 years.
2 years we were not on payroll.
Okay, explain the entry into this thing. So,
All right,
he becomes president.
So first of all, so let me just tell the story.